Counting calories can be the absolute worst. And that's why in this video, you're going to find out how you can lose weight while finally ditching your calorie counting app once and for all. Despite what certain people within certain fitness spheres might say, the scientific research has shown that one of the most common denominators to weight change is indeed the estimation of energy balance through the energy measurement of calories. But just because calories are important, it doesn't mean we absolutely have to constantly pull out our phones before we take a bite of our food. And we're gonna learn how to avoid just that. Now, to be clear, if you have no problem counting calories, then I definitely recommend you just keep doing it. The information from it can always be useful, especially for identifying trends and, most importantly, understanding your food at a deeper level. And that reason alone is why the first strategy for losing weight without counting calories is, ironically, by counting calories, at least for a little while. The more you understand the contents of your food, and not just calories, but also things like macro and micronutrient content, the better food decisions you can make. And if we track long enough, we can eventually solidly estimate the calories in our food without ever tracking it again, especially if we tend to eat the same things. It's kind of like how a chef can confidently make a delicious dish without ever measuring a single ingredient after they made that dish many times before. That's essentially your goal with counting calories now. Now, it's not perfect and your estimates might be off at times, but it might just mean you need to track just a bit longer. But if you said, to heck with that, I don't want to track a single thing ever, then let's look at a few more strategies. The next is to increase your protein intake. Protein is a big deal for many fitness goals and is a big deal for weight loss for three big reasons. One, protein is very energy costly relative to the other macronutrients like carbs and fats, which simply means that it takes more energy, thus more calories, to digest protein compared to the other macronutrients. Two, protein is one of the least preferred energy source in our body since it is used in many other functions and needs, which makes it less likely to be stored as fat. And three, which is a big one, protein can naturally reduce your overall calorie intake by doing something better than anything else you eat, and that is increasing satiety, or the feeling of fullness. In fact, research has shown a spontaneous reduction in calorie intake by as much as 440 per day simply by increasing protein intake from 15% of your diet to 30%. So get your protein. Another thing you can consider is kind of a common sense approach, and that is having more whole foods in your diet while limiting processed foods. Now, not all processed foods are inherently bad for you, and some might actually be very useful, like protein shakes. But I'm talking about those processed foods emanating from the infamous snack aisle and fast food joints. These foods are heavy in calories while providing relatively little nutrients. Whole foods, on the other hand, like fruits, veggies, proteins, tend to be much more nutrient-rich while containing relatively fewer calories. Not always, but usually. So if you don't want to count your calories, then you best make sure the foods you eat don't have a lot of calories in the first place. Pretty simple, not always simple to execute, but can be very effective. Another strategy to avoid tracking calories is to track your body weight instead. Now, this is one of the slower strategies because we do need time to see true changes in our body weight that aren't just day-to-day fluctuations. But if we weigh ourselves for like about a month, it'll be long enough for us to see how our eating habits affect our weight. And if you gain, say, something like 3 pounds in a month, then it means you're consuming too many calories. Knowing that, you can then just implement some common sense weight loss strategies like increasing physical activity to burn more calories, or again, adjusting your food portions, less calorie-dense foods, and more nutrient-dense whole foods. After another month, if you're still not losing weight, then it means more adjustments are needed. It is a slow process, but a process free of counting calories. And finally, this last strategy is unlike the previous three. You're not going to change what you eat, but instead change the time you eat. You might not have to count your calories if you are intermittent fasting. For those of you unfamiliar with it, intermittent fasting is a dietary strategy of fasting for large portions of your day to restrict the amount of time you're allowed to eat. A popular protocol is 16 hours of fasting with an 8-hour eating window. The belief is that by limiting the time you can eat, you limit your chances to overeat, which can limit your overall calories without counting them. And yes, research has shown this happening. In fact, in one one case, intermittent fasting significantly reduced calories for subjects that didn't even have any intentions to reduce calories nor intentions to lose weight. So fasting definitely can be very effective, but only if you are someone that can tolerate these smaller eating windows, which you'll only know if you experience it yourself. If you truly cannot stand counting calories, then these scientifically supported strategies are definitely worth a shot. That said, I want to be clear, there is no guarantee that these strategies will result in weight loss without counting calories, but you will likely increase your chances if you implement some or all of these strategies together. I personally would prioritize increasing protein first, and then more whole foods, and then everything else. Best of luck to you in having one less fitness app to worry about. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a caloric thumbs up and share it with your calorie-free loving friends. Subscribe for more and let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you for watching and don't forget to get